Synapse is a means of forming new ways for student learning, particularly by engaging real-life challenges and subject matter. It is a collaborative of many disciplines across the university with a focus on exploring intersections of art and science. The idea is to create and reach new audiences for both the arts and the sciences. In keeping with the spirit of connections that Synapse fosters, the works on display are loosely organized around themes such as time, data, material, and environment. I think it's easy to say that Judy Pfaff is an alchemist. This means that she takes everyday materials, domestic objects, and DIY sensibilities and transforms them into cosmologies and environments that immerse us. The work in the exhibition features forms that appear like they come from some kind of subterranean ocean. At first appearing like otherworldly creatures, closer inspection shows them to be made of industrial materials of our modern and pop culture lives.
My work has been fundamentally about ecology in an expanded frame. My understanding of land, sea, and atmosphere engages interrelated cycles of natural and man-made materials and processes. This worldview was developed through the practice of ceramics, installations, and conceptual proposals that evolve concepts of site, alchemical, material, historical transformations as a symbiotic merging of physical matter and living systems across geologic time.
Mark Diane's work is often characterized as a contemporary curiosity cabinet. Diane functions as an explorer, a collector, and sometimes an actor, taking on the character of a scientist or a naturalist. He invites the audience to be an active participant in that narrative and to find connections from the elementary school lesson and consumer culture to the professional researcher.
I have my own personal desire to learn more about the world, and I pretty much assume that a lot of people would like to know more about what's underfoot and why is it raining mostly on the weekends. So I try and have projects that are both collaborating with the natural processes that are on the site, but also showing the humans that are looking at it what's going on and how they're part of those natural processes.
Wong Kit Yi searches for facts that appear to be fictions and fictions that are part true. In the installation, Chinese mystical prayers are placed to give voice to those that are unheard and silenced. Part sci-fi, part documentary, part karaoke machine, the work challenges us to consider how we are part of the myths that we consume and active partners in the knowledge we pursue.
So every piece begins with data that I collect about a certain event, such as a hurricane, a flood, or fire. So I begin with numbers. That's always the first step. As I'm collecting numbers and reading up on how communities are responding to the disaster, I'm also quietly looking for some sort of story I want to talk about related to the event. Once I start building, the sculpture or the score become part of the conversation because they may suggest to me some additional data that I might want to include for structural reasons, for conceptual reasons, and that invariably changes the initial idea of the story that I had.
Terry Winters is in pursuit of visualizing the world around us that is real but invisible through a mixture of invention, testing, and play. The pollen prints suggest the temporary qualities of dust and atoms, while the atmospheres present a taxonomy of different layers intertwined. Multiple languages and perceptions of information layered on top of one another refuse to harmonize. Winters is revealing the life that happens when things don't match up.
So the biointegrity logics explored in beta and beta S are developed from a singular component from a kind of larger, more complex initial idea about a deployable farming strategy. However, through the process of kind of working through these two projects, we've become kind of increasingly interested in exploring the ideas of dynamic motion that both of those pavilions and installations provide, and see that as an opportunity to develop an integrated farming wall in kind of new ways.
The work in this exhibit takes a modern approach by looking at functionality within the natural world from the micro to the macro as a means of thinking, visualizing, and making. One of the Sabin lab projects, Polybrick, is an exploration of how biological patterns of growth and function distilled into mathematical algorithms can be combined with modern 3D printing techniques in ceramics and other materials. Nervous System is a collaborative design studio that champions the design of forms based on how living systems function. Their products, including jewelry, dresses, and architectural elements, take their forms from running their 3D printers on programs based on biological principles and patterns. They develop a set of mechanisms that allow them to control, manipulate, and sculpt the growing process. These act as a set of material and environmental conditions that they can vary through space and time to produce finely differentiated structures. This exhibition features collaborative teams across many media and interests and embraces this challenging space where risk and failure are balanced with points of insight and a drive to make change happen. Consider how your own interests and questions are viewed through the lens of another discipline. How could these views inform and develop your own thinking, actions, and making?